fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. What's the location? 41st Street. Shots fired.
EMS 110, please, unit, somebody advise if it's the rear of the location or in front of.
Yeah. Blood stain. Come on, yeah. Come on, yeah. Come on. You better give me that, yeah.
I describe Cleveland, Ohio as the jungle. You know, there's beautiful parts of the jungle and there's dangerous parts of the jungle. And I feel like as a native, there are places in Cleveland that you don't want to see. One of them is my community where I grew up. For me, that's the heart of the jungle. That's where I'm from. That's where majority of the crimes happen in Cleveland.
Now the pandemic's over, I'm moving like Bob Marley. I'm a Buffalo soldier, and I ain't sorry.
We weren't liked by the kids from the other neighborhood. And a couple of times where I would go out with my friends just to have fun, and we would get caught in sticky situations where we didn't know if we was gonna make it home safe. My mother, but she was going through so much with trying to make more money to provide. See my mother struggle, see my mother going through mental breakdowns. It kind of encouraged us to have her back. So whenever I get to my low points or I get to my mental breakdowns, I'll call my mother and we'll talk on the phone and we'll just let everything out. Life without a father didn't affect me until I would say I was around 13 or 14. My voice started to get deeper. I started to really develop muscles and I started to look for a father to be able to say, okay, I want to be like him. I talked to my father the Christmas of 2020, and we had sat down for 2 or 3 days over the phone for several hours, and we just tried to talk everything out. I tried to find ways to try to rekindle the relationship that we should have had over the past 15, 20 years. And within the next week, slowly but surely, the communication just disappeared. Boxing is one of the areas when I was a kid that could steer my mind, and it could be the anesthesia that I needed for my mind to just get away from things. I could go hard on hitting the bag and just focus in on that bag, and that's the only thing that I would think about for the next 2 or 3 hours that I'm there. I didn't even know that I was fighting in the Golden Gloves. I was undefeated at the time. Something happened to another kid who was from another part of the country, and they said that you're in it now, so you got 3 weeks to get ready for this fight. If you win this fight, all you have to do is win 3 more, and you Golden Glove champion. And I was completely bought in. I had never won a championship or never won a medal yet. So for me, it was like my first chance to be #1, to be great. So I just took it on and just ran through it like a bull who sees red. It was kind of more so therapy for me. My therapy for me was working.
Coming, K, 25th Street, 25th Street.
I had a friend named Muddy at the time. He was the only one of my friends who would tell me, hey man, you special. You know, eventually you gotta get up out of here. But me, at the time being 15, 16, I'm only thinking about what's coming in the next hour or two. You know, how we finna make some money, or what party are we gonna go to, or what girls are we going to meet. And he used to always tell me when we would just sit in his basement and just watch TV, he was like, hey man, you special. You know, he would always tell me that, but I didn't ever really took him serious until it was too late. He knew that I would become something. And he was with 20-year-olds when it happened. He was with guys that was way above our age group. I was actually at the gym working out. And I got done working out and I got 20 missed calls and 30 text messages. He had found out some information on a guy who had killed an older guy who was from our community. And once the grapevine had got out that Muddy had knew that information, he was now a liability.
In the city of Cleveland with 5 homicides and 4 shootings just in the last 48 hours.
I would say that was probably one of the lowest points in life. My junior year went well. It was my first full season of playing basketball. I had the opportunity, thanks to my mentor, Richard Starr, I was able to play for King James Shooting Stars, which was in one of the most top AAU leagues, the EYBL. And I was a role player on that team at times, but I had fell in love with being on a great team. We had the top players from the state, and I was one of the guys that made it. So once I got my first scholarship, after the first 2 or 3 weeks of playing AAU ball, it meant the world to me. It meant the world to me that I committed too early. I didn't have somebody in my corner who knew the recruiting game. So for me, I had fell in love with a college coach who was just telling me anything that I wanted to hear. I committed because for me, I had achieved what I needed to achieve. I just got free school. I had a free Division I university scholarship, and I was well on my way. I really only ended up leaving because of the lack of me knowing the recruitment process when I was in high school and the relationship that the coaches had established with players. You know, it was an awful relationship. I was looking for somewhere that I had the most room to grow. I didn't want to be the tallest plant. I wanted to be the plant that had the most roots. You know, because over time, that plant's going to be the one that lasts the longest. So I was looking for the place that had the biggest room for me to grow. It just felt like it was supposed to work. It felt like this is where I needed to be. I've grown much more outside of basketball than I have as a player. I've gotten more talented. I've been able to develop the jump shot. My freshman year in college basketball, I shot like 17% from 3, and now I'm a career 40% shooter here at Ball State. But outside of the game, I've developed to become a man. You know, I've got the right mentors here. I've got the right people surrounding me to make sure that my head is on straight, you know. So I would say I've developed way more as a person than I have as a player. I believe that playing professionally is in my near sight, but I also feel that there are many things to come. I have a lot in my bag. I have a lot of tools in my bag. I plan to start an AAU team. I plan to start a team, a basketball team. I want to have a team, and I want to coach that team, you know, because one thing that I have gotten better at as a player is the mental part of the game, and I feel like I can give that to the next generation. And if I do ever come across a kid that comes from King Kennedy, I'm gonna be on that kid hard. I'm gonna want that kid to be the next LeBron James. I'm just ready for that surreal moment when I can just sit back and say, hey man, I did that. Like, it was a journey, an adventure, and I conquered it.